If you're using YouTube to grow your business, but viewers never make it to your call to action, you're leaving serious money on the table. And here's the best part. Fixing it is fast, easy, and works for any channel, big or small. I used this exact trick for a client who had less than 4,000 subscribers, and in just 3 videos he pulled in 300,000 views on the first video, 240,000 views on the second, and 120,000 views on the third. That's over 660,000 views on a channel that was struggling just weeks before. Now at first I thought it was just luck, but after analyzing thousands of viral videos, I discovered that the biggest creators sneak this one technique into their content without anyone even realizing it. And if you're not using it yet, you're losing potential customers with every upload. So in this video, I'll break it all down step by step, why this strategy works like magic on the YouTube algorithm, how you can start using it today even if you're a complete beginner, and the simple tweaks that instantly boost watch time without changing your entire content style. This is the fastest way to turn dead views into real leads and sales, and anyone can do it. Now most people make one huge mistake when structuring their videos. They tell one long predictable story and then wonder why people click off halfway through. Like, dude, you can't just talk in a straight line and expect people to stay. The biggest YouTubers don't do this. But let me put it to you this way. Imagine you're at a concert, the music's lit, the energy is high, but then the DJ keeps playing the same beat for way too long. At first you're still vibing, but then the energy dies. People start looking at their phones, some start walking out, and just like that, the party is dead. But the best DJs, they know exactly when to switch things up. Before the crowd gets bored, they drop a new beat, and suddenly everyone is locked in again. That's exactly what you need to do in your videos. Because here's the reality. When viewers get bored, for even just a second, they leave. And when they leave, YouTube stops pushing your video, and fewer views means less watch time and slower growth. So how do the best creators actually fix this? Well, they use a storytelling trick that keeps people glued to the screen, and it's the same technique used in some of the greatest TV shows ever. Take Breaking Bad. One moment you're watching Walter White in the middle of a drug deal gone wrong, then boom, it jumps to Jesse arguing with Skinny Pete about some reckless move. Next, you're with Hank, the DEA agent, piecing together clues that bring him closer to catching Walt. And before you know it, you're back in the family home where Skyler is starting to suspect something's off. And each plotline keeps you hooked. And just when the story slows down, the show switches to another plotline, and that's exactly how the best YouTubers keep people watching. Instead of telling one linear story, they jump between an A plot and a B plot, and this resets the viewer's attention span, so they stay locked in from start to finish. But here's the best part. You can apply this to your own videos today. Let me show you exactly how to do it. So I was watching this one video by Film Booth, and his video, Why YouTube Hates Your Channel, is a masterclass in A-plot, B-plot storytelling. Instead of just listing retention tricks in a straight line, he weaves a story into the lesson without making it feel like a lecture. At the start of the video, he's cleaning his car, and at first it seems random, but then you realize as he scrubs off the dirt, he's actually talking about retention. Just like you wouldn't ignore a dirty car, you shouldn't ignore a bad retention graph. And before you even notice, you're learning without it feeling like learning. That's the power of A-plot, B-plot storytelling. One moment you're watching a story unfold, the next you're getting practical, actionable takeaways, and here's where it gets even smarter. He doesn't stay in one place. He switches locations, from outside cleaning his car, to inside analyzing a retention graph, to another scene reinforcing the lesson, and this tiny tweak, it keeps the visuals fresh, the pacing snappy, and the analogy sticks. But you're probably thinking that this looks like a lot of work, and it is. So what are some easy ways to use multiple plot lines in your videos? Well, I got you, because here are 5 simple ways to do exactly that, starting with the easiest one. So have you ever watched a talking head video and just zoned out? Like the content is solid, the person knows their stuff, but for some reason your brain just checks out. Yeah, that's because nothing is changing. It's the same angle, the same framing, the same energy, and your brain isn't getting new information visually. Your brain starts looking for something else to focus on, but one guy who never lets that happen is Alex Hormozi. And this dude built a multi-million-dollar brand sitting in front of a camera, yet his videos never feel boring. Not because of flashy edits, not because of crazy effects, but because of how he switches the camera angles. In his video, this video should be required viewing for business owners. He constantly moves between 3 different shots. Shot 1 is of him sitting, talking directly to the camera. Shot 2 is a side angle shot, which gives a different perspective, keeping things fresh. And shot 3 is a top-down shot where he's writing notes on a paper, visually breaking down key points. And this constant switch makes the content feel dynamic, even though it's just him talking. And the best part, you don't need an expensive setup to do this. Here's how. If you only have one camera, record multiple takes from different positions and cut between them. But if you have the budget, you can add in a second and even third camera to simplify the recording process. But if you really want to take retention to the next level, you need more than just camera tricks. That's where method 2 comes in. See, most YouTubers do one of the two things. They either tell a story or they teach a concept. But the best ones, they combine both seamlessly, switching between narrative and knowledge so the audience stays locked in. And that's exactly why one of the videos I wrote for Allwoe blew past 300,000 views. It wasn't just a tutorial, and it wasn't just a story, but it was a mix. It was a personal story, the A plot, blended with the clear actionable takeaways, which was the B plot. And that balance made the information engaging, digestible, and impossible to click away from. So let's break it down. The A plot is your storyline. This is your emotional hook, the suspense, the reason people care about what you're saying. The B plot is where you switch into teaching mode. This is where you deliver value. It's the takeaways, the lessons, the insights, and the real magic happens when you move back and forth between the two. Let's say you're making a video about how to grow a YouTube channel. Most creators, they jump straight into a list of strategies. Step 1, make better thumbnails. Step 2, improve your watch time. Boring. Feels like a checklist, not a story. But instead, you start with a moment, a real, raw experience. For example, I remember the exact moment I almost quit YouTube. I had spent months posting videos, grinding, researching, doing everything the experts said, and yet my views stuck at 73 views per video. It felt pointless. Boom. Now your audience is invested. They're feeling that frustration with you. They want to know what happens next. And right before the tension peaks, you switch into B plot mode. So for example, but here's what changed everything. I realized that my scripts were trash, so here's my 7-step framework for writing banger YouTube scripts. Step 1, step 2, step 3, etc. And from there, you flip back and forth. Story lesson, and that's how you keep people emotionally hooked while still delivering value that they can apply. But here's another trick that takes this even deeper, and it's one of the most underrated storytelling techniques that keeps viewers hooked without them realizing it. Instead of telling your story in a straight line, you jump between past and present, just like a great movie or a documentary would. This adds a cinematic feel and keeps the energy moving, and most importantly, it makes your audience feel like they're experiencing the journey with you. And I use this trick in the Allwoe video, $0 to $10,000 in 30 days with TikTok creativity program. And at first glance, it's a simple success story on how he went from $0 to $10,000 in 1 month, but the way he structures the storytelling is what makes it impossible to click away from. Instead of just narrating the journey from start to finish, he switches between two perspectives, past and present. Here's how to do it. So step 1 is where future Allwoe narrates the past, which is the A plot. So this first layer is future Allwoe, the narrator, reflecting on what he did. So for example, in the script we said this: the first thing I did was study what was already working. I went through TikTok and looked at what was trending in my niche, and what I found was that short, high energy videos were performing best. So that's exactly what I modeled. So he's not just telling the story, he's sort of breaking down step by step as he looks back on what worked. And that's the key. He's speaking with hindsight, giving the audience clarity on why certain decisions led to success. But before you get too comfortable just listening, boom, suddenly you're back in the present, which takes us to step 2, where we cut to the present moment. And this is the B plot, which is the real-time action. So in the video, we see clips of him actively working on the challenge, setting up his TikTok strategy, reacting to real results in real time. And this is where the magic happens, because now you're not just hearing the story, you're experiencing it. You're watching everything unfold like it's happening right now. And every time he jumps between past and present tense, your brain automatically resets the attention, because now there's a constant sense of movement. But if you really want to pull your audience into the experience so they don't just watch your video but actually feel like they're inside it, you need to start using method number 4, which is first person POV storytelling. Now most YouTubers, they just explain what happened, sitting back, talking to the camera, breaking things down from a distance. But if you want next level immersion, you can't just tell the story, you have to make the viewers live it. And one of the best examples of this is Nate Welf's video, I made a video game with no computer. Now this video doesn't feel like a YouTube tutorial. It feels like you're right there with him, experiencing every challenge, every breakthrough in real time. One moment he's narrating what happened, explaining how he built the game without any traditional tools. But before you settle into that format, boom, it flips. Suddenly you're seeing everything from his perspective, his hands on the keyboard, the code on the screen, the exact steps he took, like you're the one building it with him. And just when you think you've got the rhythm of the video down, it switches again, and now he's in a Discord call with his friends, bouncing ideas, reacting in real time, and the energy resets. And as the viewer, you can't help but keep watching. But here's the best part, you don't need a crazy setup to do this. Even if you're just filming on your phone, you can make your video feel more immersive. Now before we dive into the final method, let's be real, storytelling isn't always easy. You know it's important, you know it keeps people watching, but actually structuring your story in a way that flows, that's where most people get stuck. And that's exactly why I put together a free ChatGPT prompt that does most of the heavy lifting for you. All you have to do is drop in your story idea, and in seconds it will organize everything into a clear, engaging structure, so you're never staring at a blank page wondering where to start. It's the same tool I use to cut down my script writing time in half, and you can grab it right now for free. Just click the link in the description. So far we've covered some of the best ways to keep people watching your videos, but if you really want to make your content feel unpredictable, where viewers can't stop watching because they need to see what happens next, there's one final method you need to know. It's called the STAG method. Now, this isn't some fancy editing trick. It's about layering a second storyline alongside your main content, and this gives viewers another reason to stay engaged. Think of it like a subplot in a movie. It could be a joke that keeps people coming back, a mystery that needs solving, or even a side challenge that plays out in the background while you teach. Because here's the thing, sometimes viewers won't just stick around for the main content, they'll stay because they're invested in how the subplot ends. So this is what Film Booth did in that one video I showed earlier where he was cleaning the car and going on this road trip. But I also used this exact strategy in my video. This isn't fun, but you'll get 100,000 views fast. And throughout that video, I kept addressing accusations that I was copying Film Booth, but instead of just mentioning it once and moving on, I turned it into this running joke where I kept bringing it back again and again, making it part of the experience. And because of that, people didn't just watch for the YouTube growth tips, they stuck around to see how I'd address the joke next. So here's how you can use the STAG method in your videos. Step 1, set up a recurring theme. Think of something you can bring back later in the video. It could be an inside joke or even a random challenge. Step 2, tease a mystery. Drop a question or an unresolved moment at the start, but don't answer it right away. Make viewers curious. They'll keep watching just to see how it plays out. Step 3, add a slide mission. So give yourself a mini challenge that plays out alongside your main content. Something subtle, but just interesting enough to keep viewers hooked. Step 4 is to give an unexpected payoff at the end. Close the loop in a way that actually rewards the viewer for sticking around. Make the subplot resolution feel intentional so it doesn't just fade out. Because here's the thing, viewers are wired to want completion. When you leave something unresolved, the brain needs to see how it ends. And when you use this technique right, it keeps your video moving, it makes it feel unpredictable, and stops people from clicking away. So now you know how multiple plot lines can skyrocket your attention. But none of that matters if people don't even make it past the first 30 seconds. If your intro doesn't hook them instantly, they're gone. So how do you stop that from happening? Well, I got you, because check out this video next where I break down exactly how to craft an intro that grabs attention fast. Just click here, trust me, you're gonna want to see this.